Feeling overwhelmed by the challenges of being a single parent? You are not alone. Welcome to the Single Parent Reset, the podcast that helps you navigate the ups and downs of single parenthood and find the balance that you deserve. Whether you're a single parent, co-parent, or a solo parent, this is the show for you. I'm Orla and I'm a life coach for single parents. And as a single parent myself, I know how hard it can be. But I also believe that every single parent has the strength to create a life that they are proud of. In each episode, we'll shine a light on the unique struggles single parents face and cover the aspects of single parenting that are too often overlooked and left unspoken. I'll be sharing actionable steps to help you overcome these challenges and find a more calm and fulfilled life. Single Parent Reset is your weekly opportunity to gain a fresh perspective, take back control, and feel more in charge of your journey. In this episode, we are going to talk about Christmas. Yes, Christmas. And I know for some of you that may have brought up a complete shudder down your spine or a feeling of dread in the pit of your stomach. I get it. Christmas can bring up so many emotions for single parents, and there can be so much to navigate. It's normal to feel sadness, frustration, or even anxiety about Christmas as a single parent. We're often expected to be happy and festive, but that doesn't always match how we feel. We're going to talk about the ways you can make this Christmas one that works for you, no matter what your situation. Christmas can be particularly challenging to navigate for single parents because they have so many factors that they need to consider, from deciding who gets the kids this year, to the financial strain, to comparing yourself to others and feeling like your family Christmas just does not measure up. Whether this is your first Christmas as a single parent or one of many, the season can stir up emotions like guilt, sadness, or frustration. It is okay to let these negative emotions come up, but what we will do today is learn what to do with these negative emotions so that you don't let them take the sparkle from your family's Christmas, no matter what way that looks to you and your family. I generally find Christmas an enjoyable time, and I'm lucky that I get to go home to my parents in Dublin and spend Christmas with them. But that's not to say that each year does not have a little sting to the tail at some point over the festive season. And last year was no different. I don't think I even told anyone about this story, so here goes. It was the day before I was due to be flying back home with my son to Dublin for Christmas. And I just finished up work for the year and I was officially in the festive mood. Logistically, the easiest way for me to pick up my son was on my way home from work, and I was getting a train that went right by his dad's house, so we had planned that they would meet me on the train platform as my train went past, and then my son would jump on. I was so excited as the train pulled into the station and saw my son waiting. He jumped on quickly and said bye to his dad. As we sat down, my mind went to planning my evening. I had friends coming over for mince pies and mulled wines because, I'm an adult and do Christmas that way. And I was going through my final to-do list in my head. I then realised my son was being really quiet, which is unusual for him. Once we got off the train, I asked him, was he okay? And then I could see the tears were forming in his eyes and he began to wail in a very busy train station, I may add, that I miss my dad. I want my dad. Now, as you can imagine, my heart absolutely broke. I went straight to feelings of guilt that my son was upset and shame that this was my reality, and also embarrassed at the scene that he was causing. Honestly, I was ready to sit down on the ground with him and just bawl crying and cancel my friends coming over. And honestly, I just wanted to cancel Christmas. But I caught myself in the moment and I took a deep breath and I thought, no, I can handle this situation. Yes, right now, this feels like the worst thing in the world, but this will pass. Yes, my son is upset, but it is not all my fault, and I do not need to be blaming myself or my co-parent for this. I stopped and thought to myself, why was my son extra upset, as he is normally fine on handovers? And then I realised two things. Well, the handover itself was completely out of the normal routine we do. Normally we just drop him off at each other's houses. So obviously flinging him on a train was probably a bit extra for him. And also, his dad was going away for Christmas, so my son knew that we would all be even further apart this year. So I picked up my wailing son and I carried him the whole way home. He was 4 at the time, so my arms were absolutely aching as he screamed for his dad. And I calmly told him he was okay, and I calmly told myself I am okay too. We got in the door and we FaceTimed his dad, which is something we normally don't do. We only do it if it's been more than a week that we've been apart. But I knew that this is what my son needed, and he would appreciate a better goodbye with his dad than the quick one that he had at the train station. So they had a chat, and I remained calm and soothed my son. And within minutes, he was fine again and looking forward to our trip to Dublin the next day. And I was looking forward to my friends coming round for the mulled wine and mince pies. Now, that moment reminded me of how important it is to manage my emotions while helping my son navigate his. And with a little patience and reframing, we salvaged the evening and Christmas was saved. There is an alternative reality that could have played out there. I could have got really upset with my son. I could have cancelled my evening and spent the whole Christmas telling anyone who would listen about the awful handover, how guilty I felt, and what a terrible situation I'm in. And if this has happened to you or a similar version of it, I get it. And I can see how it can happen so easily. But today, I want to equip you with some strategies to prevent your Christmas going south when it just doesn't need to. The first thing that is important to note about Christmas is that it's not just Christmas Day. It is going to the Christmas concert at school. It is seeing the Christmas lights. It is the Christmas night out with your friends. It is those low days between Christmas and New Year's. It's New Year's Eve. I mean, a lot of time we can be so focused on Christmas Day itself and just getting through that we forget that the whole of December and not just Christmas Day can be a minefield for single parents. Recognising this and doing some planning ahead can really help prevent you being blindsided by festive occasions that you forgot to think about, and plan ahead so you can prep yourself for fun and tricky days ahead. What I suggest you do is go through your calendar and look at each day and event that you have planned in this month. Which ones are the ones that spark negative feelings for you? Be really honest with yourself here. There's no point lying to yourself now, only to be confronted with the truth later. Focus on these days that stir less than festive feelings and take some time to ask yourself, what is it about it you are dreading? What do I have control over in this situation? How do I want to feel at this day or event? How would this feeling benefit me and my family? What small, intentional actions can I take to make this feeling a reality? Who can support me? Because remember, you do not need to face these challenging days alone. Your friends and family are there to help and support you. You just need to be brave enough to ask for the help. So now that you've asked those questions, go through each of the moments that you're not looking forward to and go back to those questions and ask them again and again to help bring more clarity to mind and also help you realise, well, how do you want to feel? What do you need to do to get there? And that will help it be a little bit easier for you going into that event. For me, I don't have my son the week after Christmas. And while the first day or two I've done before, I know it's fine. I like the rest. It's okay. I know from the 29th onwards, I need plans. They don't need to be massive plans, but I just need something to give structure to my day so that I'm not just feeling like, where's my son? What am I doing? It's Christmas. I'm not with him. All those feelings can just very quickly come to mind. So I'll start planning now, make sure I've got a walk with a friend one day, cook a nice meal for myself another day. Again, it's nothing wild, but I'm intentional that I'm making sure I've got plans for that day. For you, example, maybe you host Boxing Day, or as we call it in Ireland, Stevens's Day, at your house, and you find that you're always pushing yourself to the limits, and you find yourself not even enjoying the day as you just snap at everyone. Think about how this day can be easier. Can people help with food? Do you really need to invite everyone? As you navigate this Christmas, remember that saying no is a form of self-care. It's okay to set boundaries and to protect your peace. You don't have to do everything. You just need to do what feels right for you. A good idea when you're looking at your calendar and trying to think, okay, where are the pain points, is look back at last year. What were the moments that you felt extra down or emotional, and how could they have been handled differently this year? Did you not agree when to do a FaceTime call with your co-parents and you found yourself having to spend Christmas morning trying to coordinate an appropriate time for both of you to have a call? Make sure you agree on a time this year in advance. Did you feel really left out at work when everyone was talking about the Christmas night out that you didn't get to go to because you couldn't get childcare? If this is important to you, pre-plan it. Get the childcare planned in so that you can avoid feeling left out again this year. Or did you find it unbearable at family gatherings, looking at everyone in their traditional family setups, getting their family photos taken by the tree, leaving you feel like your family wasn't even a proper family? This is a really big one for single parents, and it's okay that you feel or felt this way. Be compassionate with yourself, and even recognizing these thoughts is a step in the right direction. Spend some time reflecting on what this brought up for you and how can you better manage your thoughts this year. When I look back at last year, one thing I know I'm definitely going to make sure I manage better this year is an intentional handover for my son that is not out of his normal routine. Now, when you're looking at the month ahead, where have you got pockets of time for you? Not for your kids, not for your friends, not for your family, time just for you. If ever there is a month to prioritise your self-care, December is the month. This is not a selfish act. By you pushing time for yourself first, you can show up as a much better version of yourself. And again, with self-care, it doesn't need to be a massive thing. It could be 5 minutes to yourself in the morning. It could be getting out for a walk after dinner. Whatever it is, make sure you are prioritising it to really help you get through this festive season. So by taking the time now, be it 5 or 10 minutes to plan out your December, you're setting yourself up for a much sturdier footing to navigate the festivities as smoothly as possible. Of course, it would be great to think that we could just sit for 5 minutes at the beginning of December and plan out all our pain points and come up with a bulletproof emotional resilience plan to get us through them. But the reality is that there are just some things that you can't plan for. Sure, look at me, not expecting a complete meltdown on the handover day with my son. What you can plan for, however, is to have strategies in place so that when you are faced with challenging situations this Christmas, you know what to do. If you find your emotions becoming heightened, take a deliberate pause. Try some grounding techniques. Grounding techniques work by helping you reconnect with your body and the present moment, which can stop the spiraling thoughts before they take over. So feel your feet on the floor. Take a few slow breaths. Or repeat an affirming phrase like, I've got this. It sounds cheesy, but honestly, as single parents, sometimes you do need to be saying to yourself, I've got this, because you don't have someone in your corner at the end of the day who's seen how hectic that Christmas day was to say, oh wow, you've got this. So it's good for you to be saying it to yourself. And doing this can help keep you present and calm. Give yourself a moment to calm your nervous system and help your logical brain kick back in again. Doing these grounding techniques will help you keep present and calm. Your nervous system will have a moment to calm down, and this will help your logical brain kick back in again. Another thing you can do is stop and look at the latest thoughts that are going through your head. Ask yourself, are these thoughts actually true? Too often, we get caught up in our own stories without checking for truth behind them. Take a moment to really drill down. Is this true? What makes it true? Does everyone else believe it's true? Or you can ask yourself, is this situation in my control? Remember, you can't control other people's actions or reactions, but what you can control is how you respond. Focus your energy on what's in your power to change. And finally, I just want to talk about this idea of the perfect Christmas. I mean, have you been trying to withhold your family up to this idea of your perfect Christmas that just doesn't fit you anymore? Reframe your idea of the perfect Christmas to one that actually works for you. People can get so caught up on how Christmas is done and they're really rigid about their traditions. And this can leave you sitting comparing yourself to everyone else and their Christmas, feeling like yours just doesn't measure up. This is your reminder that it is your Christmas and you can do it your way. Yes, there are some things you're obligated to do, but remember, Christmas isn't just Christmas Day. Use the whole month of December to fill it the way you want to for you and your family. So that whilst, yes, there will be some days that are harder than other days, you can make sure that you're crafting some days that are just how you want them. And this will bring the joy you deserve this Christmas. A day in your pajamas watching movies with the kids, or pizza for Christmas dinner, forget about turkey. Or maybe sitting on a beach somewhere hot while your kids are with their other parents. Whatever it is, make it a Christmas that works for you. And also, if you are drawn to the old traditions, great, go for it, enjoy it. But try and focus on all you do have this Christmas and do not let what you don't have take away from the joy of everything you do. So there really is no doubt about it. Christmas can be a toughie for us single parents. But with some pre-planning and pausing before reacting in difficult moments, Christmas can be made a bit easier. Remember, Christmas doesn't have to be perfect to be meaningful. With small shifts, you can create a season filled with moments of joy and connection. The countdown to Christmas is officially on. What steps are you going to take to make sure this Christmas is enjoyable as possible for you and your family? It's not easy, but I promise you are doing an amazing job and I know you can do it. If you're interested in working with me one-to-one, please go to my website, Solace Coaching, for further details. And don't forget to follow my Instagram page @Solace Coaching for more insightful content on living a life to be proud of as a single parent. Thank you so much for listening to this week's episode of Single Parent Reset. You have taken 15 minutes out of your day to do something for you, and that alone is a step in the right direction towards living a life you deserve. If you find this episode useful, please share it with your friends and family. Remember that many single parents may seem like they have it all together, but this episode could be exactly what they need to get them set up and ready for Christmas this year. So please do the kind thing and pass it on.